Damn.
Back
Back.
at it.
Back at it.
Back again.
Made it.
Oh.
Just in time.
Yeah. Got everything switched over. So, nice and blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. In the studs.
Oh boy.
Had it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go full screen on this.
Do it, I dare you.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. We are on episode 121. I'm gonna
Wow.
fight with this thing again.
Wow.
We should just like run lines down from the ceiling so they just hang down.
Should do lines. What?
Yeah. You know, like hoist them to the ceiling. Wait, do lines. No, not those kind of lines. So we are kicking it off. We're going right into the interview.
Do it.
So we're going to be talking to Ben from Ocean Deep. And
What the hell?
yeah.
What the hell?
What in the crap?
See, it's connected to my Wi-Fi at my house, even though I'm at your house. But
Oh, that's nice.
I'll go home and it won't. It'll just do the opposite.
Just does the
It's so stupid.
just doesn't do what you want it to do.
No.
Well, that's
Fucking computers.
that's nice, right?
Hate it. I don't
my
like the
God.
internet.
Phone, do what I want you to do.
Right? Told you.
Okay. So, make sure he's good to go. Oh, love it when that noise happens.
Wow. Wow. What a day.
All right, let's do this. Ring-a-ling-ding. Oh,
Wow.
quick on the button.
I have auto answer enabled, and I'm glad you guys called when you did because I just let out a horrifically loud sneeze, like a shotgun going off. So as soon as I came on, it would just deafen everybody watching right now. So I'm glad you called when you did.
Answer. Achoo! Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Oh, now that everybody's deaf. Yeah.
Nice.
So
So
yeah,
how you guys doing?
Good.
doing good. Joining us over Skype is Ben from Ocean Deep. Correct?
Yes, that
Okay.
is correct.
Just making
Thank
sure.
you for getting that right. Yeah. Good start.
No, that's not even my band name, you asshole.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah. It would have been forgiven. Like, it's fine. I'm divorced. I've been called worse. It's fine.
Hey, it happens.
Nice. So, what's up?
Yeah, not too much. Just sitting around here. I was kind of waiting for you guys to call in because you wrote me and said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna start the intro music and then call you." So I just like kind of sat like this a little bit like a lunatic for a minute until you guys called. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last like 10 minutes. But
Nice.
But yeah, I'm happy to be here, guys. I appreciate you having me on. You know, it helps to, you know, I don't know how much of the email I read that you guys read that I sent you, but you know, just giving me the opportunity to come on here and, you know, talk about what I'm about and, you know, kind of spread the word about my music and, you know, the meaning behind it and everything. I really do appreciate that. So thanks so much.
Anytime, man. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So why don't you give us a little background of Ocean Deep?
Yeah, sure. So it started really a couple of years ago. We came up with the name and everything and started writing together, the singer Headley and I. And really where it started was that I had fallen into this really, really, really bad depression after my dad had passed away. And it really just took a really, really bad toll on me. And so it got to the point where, you know, as anybody that knows, textbook depression is you just lose interest in anything and everything you do, especially if it's something you love. Like you just don't want to do it. You don't see the point, you know, all that fun stuff. So I was in the middle of all that, and I finally got to the point where I needed to seek. I had quit the band that I was currently in because I had to seek professional help for it.
Mm-hmm.
It had gotten that bad. So I did, and I just, you know, I was talking to her about it. And, you know, just talking to somebody about it really helped. But the doctor that I have, Natalie Jacobs, is amazing, and she talk to me about, you know, more so the depression aspect of it rather than anxieties. I suffer from both, which 68% of people in my age group do. So fun fact. Yeah. So she was talking to me and she you know, was like, well, if you're a musician, you know, why don't you write anymore? Because I've been in music classes since I was 7 years old. So music is absolutely my life, my obsession. And you know, she was asking me, you know, why don't I do this? Why don't I feel like I should do this anymore? And she said, instead of trying to talk about it, why don't you try to write about it? Which I know it sounds kind of like I wouldn't make that assumption, like make that connection myself, but really it hadn't dawned on me. It hadn't dawned on me to dig that deep because I don't think I was ready for it yet. So I spent a year healing and getting better, and then I reached back out to Headley, the vocalist, and asked if he wanted to start this back up again because we had started and then kind of played down
Right.
since I was going through everything. And but he was eager to pick it right back up where we left off, which was awesome of him. And so I just started writing about the things that happened in my life that I feel that were kind of turning points where I could have been one way with it or another.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something a lot of people can relate to, even if it doesn't come to them at first. Maybe it might be years later, you're like, oh wait, yeah, I could have definitely taken another path in life at that point. So that was kind of what I wanted to focus on. And it's mainly it's okay to not be okay. That's
Right.
really one of the drive, because nobody, especially if it comes from a traumatic event or a series of traumatic events that puts you in this mental state, or if it's just genetic, which both for me, hooray. But if once you get put into that position, everybody wants to be brave. Everybody wants to, they don't want to be seen as weak. They don't want to be seen as a victim. But honestly, I think it's something we should talk about more and be open about, because it affects a huge percentage of us. And it just doesn't, it wouldn't make sense to me if we weren't to think about it. You know what I mean? Like it's something that affects us all, and on a deeply profound level that it kind of shapes who we are. So I think that's something worth talking about and worth, discussing with one another. And if people aren't open to it, that's fine. I would really just want people to know that if you're not okay, that's also okay. You don't have to be strong for anybody. This is what you are going through. This is what impacts you. This is your fight.
Right. And it's rough because, like if you're already going through that, and then like you said, you lost your father, and I'm sorry to hear that. That's rough.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And then you got to go through that at the same time. And, like you said, you kind of lose love for things. It's, it falls into like, you don't have the energy to do that stuff that you love because you're using every ounce of energy you have just to like get through the day.
Right, just to keep your mental state above water. And it's,
Right.
and not to be a downer to everybody listening, sorry, but it's just, it's just you're absolutely right. You expend all of that energy and that effort just trying to get through the day. And a friend of mine, a really close friend of mine, and I were talking one time because we kind of went on medication around the same time. So we were on different kinds of medications, and kind of in a funny way, we'd be like, "Hey, what side effects are you experiencing a day?" Like that kind of thing. Like that's kind of how we identified with each other. But he was on a medication where it just made him feel like he was coasting, and that's exactly how it feels. Just there is no more perfect singular word to sum it up than just you're coasting through life, and that's not a way to live, man. It's the crappy emotions that come with it is definitely not a plus, but just the fact that you're just numb and just coasting along to everything it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
You kind of like, when you come out of that, you're kind of like, how much time did I miss? Because that's what it feels like.
It's like coming out of a time capsule.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But that's the basic history of it. We're located in 3 different states. So we kind of like, I record most of the music myself, and I upload it and send it to our bass player who records bass, and he's also our producer. So he makes everything sound a lot better than I ever could. And then
that's what producers do.
Yeah, that's what we pay them for. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Zach's awesome. And I reached out to him because my partner and I were on vacation, and she's been trying to get me back into writing music and stuff because she's been there the whole time. She wasn't there when I lost my father, but she was there to see what had happened, the fallout from it. So she's been there, and she was always trying to encourage me to start writing music again. And that was me reaching out to him was kind of a weird thing, because I was like, hey, I know you're in Chicago, but how would it work if I were to record music in Ohio and somehow send it to you? And it was something he had never done. And to my surprise, he immediately answered me and was like, I've never done this before, so let's do that. So basically, I record everything on my end. I upload everything to Dropbox, and then he takes it from there, makes it sound good. We send it to Headley, who records his vocals, and then he masters it. So it's really, we lose out on a lot of the human element in the producing. Being able to sit in the same room where, oh, I want that louder, I want that, more quiet. I want to hear more harmonies here. Oh, I have an idea for this part. We kind of lose that interaction, but we have so much back and forth that it's really not that big of a deal to that we're not in the same room. So that's something I'm thankful for. So, yeah, that's the basic history of us.
Nice. Isn't that cool that now you can like be sitting in different states and you can just
still make music?
Yeah, you can just upload a file and the other guy downloads it and puts his part to it. Like,
yeah, it's been really fun. It's been a really collaborative, like kind of almost like a laboratory. Like we really didn't know what we were getting into or how it was going to work out, and so far so good. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. And it reminds me of one of my favorite bands, the Postal Service. Who,
oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome, and that's where their name came from, because they actually used to send physical pieces of the music to each other through the United States Postal Service, and so Ben Gibbard would record some parts and send it to I can't remember the other guy's name right now, but they would send it to him and he would record stuff, and they would just send it back and forth. And that even back in the 90s, like especially for the 90s, that's incredible, that kind of collaboration. So if they can do it then, I'm sure we could have worked out something now, was kind of the way I saw it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy how we've gone from splicing tape to upload, send.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 2 clicks. And gold record.
Yeah, pretty much.
You ever tried splicing tape?
No.
Oh, my sweet dear God, it's terrible. I tried it once just, in school, because I was in graphic design school. And I tried it just to, because it was old school and my teacher was old school. I really liked that about him. And he kind of said the same thing to me, like, you ever tried splicing tape? And I was like, no. Why would I do that?
Yeah, why would I even try that?
Yeah, like 16-year-old me, like, I don't even know what that is. So he had me try it, and it's an art form. Like, it gives me anxiety just to think about it. That's how bad it is.
Rabby slices tape. Oh, God.
Yeah. No, that's a nanosecond off. Oh, God, they're going to know. Yeah.
The school I think had the machines, but I don't even know if they used them anymore. I don't even know if they had tape for them anymore, but we didn't get to touch them. So.
Where did you go?
SAE in Nashville.
Oh, Nashville? Oh, wow. Is that where you're from?
No, I'm from Indiana, but
okay.
Went to school down there, and it was pretty cool. But.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know you guys are, I think, in Lafayette, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like 2.5, maybe 3 hours from where I am. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you're probably because I was like, literally this morning, I was like, I wonder how far away they are. I was like, oh, I probably could have drove there, but that's fine. that's a nothing drive for me.
Where at in Indiana are you?
What's that?
Where at are you in Indiana?
I'm in Cincinnati, actually. So I'm only like 2.5 hours from you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So I was like, oh well, I already set everything up, so I guess we're going to
now it works just as fine.
yeah, this works.
Now you can do it from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, comfort's a little messy, but we'll go with comfort. So yeah, I was talking to Matt a little bit, and he said you guys been doing this about 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's it's something I was always interested in, is podcasting, but like I'm kind of better on the page than in paper, or than in person. You know what I mean? So something I never really went down because I was afraid of what would happen if I did. I don't think people are ready for like what's in here really quite yet. So
it's been a journey.
It has. Like we just started off just doing audio only.
Oh, really?
We kicked it off with having a guest on that we've been friends with for a long time, and he was also a musician.
Oh, cool.
So that kind of made it easier because it gave us more to talk about. But I think if him and I did it alone the first time, it would have been.
We've done the show without a guest a few times, and it's just horrible.
Yeah,
because like we're like, so what? We just stare at each other like,
yeah.
Like, all the pressure's on us.
Yeah.
Now.
So what'd you do this week?
You were there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, do you remember when we were at the bar? No.
No, I don't. I don't remember that actually.
I go there to forget.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I'm not here to remember why we're here. It's this is we're gonna put this evening into a little box in the corner of the attic in my head and just leave it there for a while.
Yeah. Let it build up some cobwebs.
Yeah, the nice dusty cobweb box.
Yeah.
Nobody take that out of context, please.
No, I feel like we're finally getting in the swing of it after 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
today I was able to screech into the driveway last second while he was playing the intro music.
Oh,
Ran in his house and I got called into work real quick and was on my way back and he's like, I'm starting the music. I'm like, okay.
Ben's just sitting there alone in a room staring at a camera waiting for us to call him. So, But what do you do?
I'm a locksmith.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I had to go unlock someone's house like 30 minutes away.
You like kind of on call for that kind of thing? Because I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, so we have a guy on every night. Tonight's my night. So
Fun.
don't usually get called. You don't get too many people
Just
calling,
run up
but-
real quick, kick their door, and there you go. That'll be $80. You broke my door. Oh, sorry. That'll be $180.
Yeah. You pay me for the damage I did to your door.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Sign here.
Yeah.
We actually, if we have to drill your lockout, we charge you more.
It's more work.
It's more work.
I mean, you got me there.
It's not my fault you locked your keys in your house.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how it is there in Indiana, but here in Ohio and Cincinnati in particular, if you lock your keys in your car, what you're supposed to do is call the police, and the police will come and actually like break your window for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like they're doing you a service.
Yeah, like it's super weird.
they'll
like,
break your window?
Yeah, they'll break your window for you and help you get in your car. Like first they'll try and jimmy the lock, but that hardly ever works with like newer cars. So they'll be the ones that'll be like, okay, well I'm gonna have to go ahead and break your window for you. I guess they just don't want people to call the cops like, hey, someone's breaking into somebody's car over there. Like, oh no, that's my car. I guess they don't want to deal with that, but it's still really odd to me.
They don't have locksmiths there to do it?
Well, I don't know if breaking your window is actually helping you.
Right?
That's the thing. Like, yeah, protect and serve. Like, I don't think this goes under either one of those things.
Be like, oh, thanks. Now I got to drop $400 to get a new window.
On a new window.
I've been doing this 7 years, and not one guy's ever had to break a window to get in a car.
Good. Yeah, that's got to be a record. Because I guess just people on this over here are just like, oh well, most locksmiths only do houses, so I guess we'll call the cops and have them break it for free. Like that's.
The cops are
Which I
probably
kind of get. I've been broke, so.
the police are probably like, hell yeah, I get to break a window. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Roll out. There in 3 minutes.
If that's the case, I'll
Flip
just
the
break
sirens
it.
on.
I'll just find a rock and break it myself. Why would I want to wait for the cops?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I guess they're afraid somebody will see it and be like, "Oh shit, that person's like breaking into that car." It's like, and then the cops like show up and confront you about it. But I don't know. It's super weird.
I've had cops show up when I was getting into someone's apartment one time.
They're like, hey, what are you doing? You're like,
Yeah. Well,
Van.
he didn't even talk to me. Like, he pulled up, saw the van, waved at me, and left.
he's like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
sorry, carry on. Hey, do you need a window broken? No? Okay.
All right. Well, you got our number. Like, if you need a window broken. Like,
Yeah, it's really easy to remember. It's just 911.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulls away and he's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Awkward silences.
yeah, those are the best.
Yeah, my favorite kind of them.
Did we ask you about your influences?
no.
Did we ask you that?
No, you haven't, but if you did, we could just go over it again.
I don't think we did, but I always like sometimes like because that's like one of the questions we ask, but sometimes we get into conversations.
I think the
and,
only thing the Postal Service, I think, was the only one
Yeah,
you
that-
mentioned. So
Yeah, that's definitely an influence. Yeah, even though our music doesn't sound anything like that, it's certainly an influence, and in a way that we operate. And Ben Gibbard, the vocalist, is just an insanely good lyricist. So he's just poetic, and more on the like pop punk emo side. Really influenced by Motion City Soundtrack.
nice.
Love them to death. So sad they broke up recently, but
Yeah.
I don't want to cry live. So, but I didn't get a chance to see. They went on their last tour and they stopped in my city, and I was not able to go. I am
Oh
just
man.
devastated. Amazing live. And then the starting line,
Nice.
really influenced by the starting line. Yeah, old school pop punk
Yeah,
stuff. Like
yeah, for sure.
when you bring up pop punk now to like like Gen Z or like younger people, they're thinking like I don't know who's out right now. Like I don't even know. I'm old. Like
Out right now, it's probably like State Champs and Neck Deep,
that's
and
yeah, State Champs.
which they're really good.
Oh, they're good. Yeah, don't no, yeah.
But like,
not hating on State Champs at
right,
all. Like,
love State Champs.
not at all. It's different. Like
Yeah, it's a smaller
I
genre now.
yeah, it's really is. Like I like we look like we're around the same age. Like we'll go with that. And
Yeah.
so the what we grew up with was just, those old drive-through records bands like
Exactly.
Starting Line, Early November, like
Yes.
Finch, even like
Yeah.
and Newfound Glory, Blink-182. There are all these.
Census
So,
Fail and
Yeah.
oh man, there's
man,
so many.
There's so many that were on that.
Alistair.
Yeah, Alistair. Oh, nobody knows about Alistair.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fist bump on that one.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what Alistair is. But yeah, they just had all these incredible bands on that one record label, and then the record label went, so they all like kind of dispersed or broke up. And whenever I talk about pop punk, that's still in my old brain is what I'm thinking about. And they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what any of that is. Like,
Yeah.
what's a Saves the Day? Like, they don't know what that is.
It's like, how do you not know Saves the Day?
Exactly. Like, so anyway, Starting Line, and then Postal Service, and then one of the newer bands. They're not really new, but they're more toward the emo side. Is the Dangerous Summer, which we actually had their front man. He did a guest spot on one of our songs on our EP, which was super cool of him.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting it because he. So, just a little story to how awesome my girlfriend is. It came up on Instagram, on his Instagram, that hey, I'm home for a few months after tour. I'm looking to to jam, basically. Like, what do you guys got? And so she wrote to him actually on his email and was like, hey, I have this boyfriend who's in this music project, and he is kind of afraid to ask you to do this because he doesn't believe in himself because he's kind of dumb. Okay, she didn't say that part, but like that's just me coming out. But she's like, he doesn't really, he doesn't really have the courage to kind of reach out to you, so maybe you could reach out to him. Dude does. Like AJ was really cool about it. He's like, hey, your girlfriend reached out to me. She said that you might have a guest spot for some vocals, and I'm totally down for it. And at this point, I'm almost fainting, like fangirling, because he's one of my favorite vocalists in the genre. And I was like, yeah, man, what do you need? And he just said, get me the song first. I want to take a listen to it, kind of, no offense, just kind of see like what I'm dealing with here. I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. And he writes back and he's like, actually, I was really surprised with how well it was produced. So especially for being self-produced, it sounds really great, which once again, I was freaking out about. And so I gave him the lyrics, and dude did it in like 2 hours. Nice. And sent it back to me. And then Zach uploaded it, and he said he barely even had to auto tune it at all, or pitch correct it at all. Like, he was just absolutely on point. And we put it on there, and then he was like, yeah, just let me know, send me a link when it's released, because I have a Spotify for all the guest vocal spots, and I want to have that on there. It's like, thanks a lot. So that was I think a big boost in confidence that I needed, because he really liked Headley's style and vocals. He's got kind of like a gospel background, and it's really cool that he picked up on that, because he totally does. And so yeah, it was just kind of surreal that he was so like down to earth. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Like, he always seemed really nice when I saw them live and stuff, but because he was very yeah, come to the table, say hi to me and stuff. But I just having him, being able to collaborate with him, was really cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Especially when he's like, I got this whole section on Spotify. Let's put your song there.
Yeah, it's like, that's amazing. Like,
you should have been like, you want to hang out?
Actually, I almost did. Like, when I sent him the it's really funny you say that, because I sent him the email like, hey, the song's out. Here's a link to it. You guys are coming to Columbus soon. I'll see you then. And then he sent back to me. He was like, yeah, when you come through, stop by the table and say, hey, we'll like have a beer. And I was like, what is going on? What is even life right now? So he was a really nice dude and really professional and really cool. So anybody out there that's like doing this type of music or like anywhere near this type of music and looking for guest vocal spots, like AJ Perdomo on Instagram, like he'll do it. Like he's that down to earth.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So yeah, we covered influences, I think.
We did.
Next
else we got?
question.
So you guys are planning to release the EP this summer, right?
Yeah, this summer. We are. Everything is recorded. Everything's done. The ball's in Zach's court right now, which he's working on. He's actually working on coming back to Cincinnati, which is cool. So he and I can record.
Nice.
Sir, yeah, that would be really nice. But yeah, that's his words. We're on the last song, producing that, and then once that gets produced, we'll get it to Headley, who already has the lyrics, and we'll get that up and ready, and then boom, it'll be done. Should be done. I'm shooting for June, but it may not be till either late June or early August. But I think June should be a good spot for it. So yeah. I'm really excited.
It's a good month to release music. You know,
it's
like
my birthday month.
Beginning of summer.
Nice.
You know, people are looking for some summer jams.
Yeah, flowers blooming.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes are coming back, and they should all go to hell where they belong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. It's like, why are they even here?
Yeah, when the pilgrims immigrated here, they brought all the death
Yeah.
through the real answer.
They're like, we brought you these mosquitoes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. What do they do? Nothing. They literally just make your life horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Thanks.
What do they do? Ow.
Yep, that's it. They're
Yeah.
flying syringes. Like they're flying dirty syringes. That's what they are.
Oh, and they spread disease.
You'll find out about that later, though.
Yeah.
You don't worry about that right now.
Don't worry about that right now. Just get used to it.
Yeah. Get used to it for generations.
Yeah.
Generations.
Damn mosquitoes. I hate them.
You're welcome.
Oh, I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, and we were kind of on the same anger path, but we were kind of we were actually challenging ourselves to try and think of something positive that mosquitoes can do. And it took us a while, but they are pollinators, which we can use a lot of those right now. And they're also food for bats, which are better pollinators. So something came up of it. There's just too many. There's just too
I guess.
many of them.
Yeah.
I guess.
You haven't seen my backyard. It's basically a swamp cesspool for mosquitoes. So
Oh God, that's terrible.
there's a drainage ditch that doesn't drain.
Yeah.
So it's just a ditch.
So it's just a ditch full of water.
Oh yeah, that's breeding ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, growing up at the old house that we grew up in, she was all about having ponds and gardens and stuff, and that thing was just terrible.
Like a little one of those little like koi ponds or something in your yard.
Yeah. She would have like little fish in there.
Just a
and stuff,
mosquito pit, huh?
Oh, it was horrible. Like the fish would die, and she worked like 2, sometimes 3 jobs at a time, so she didn't always have time to clean it. And I was kind of a lazy piece of shit growing up, so I didn't do it. So like there would just be a breeding ground for mosquitoes, and we had a large sized yard, but they were everywhere. It's horrible. So death to mosquitoes is really what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry if I
flamethrower.
offend anybody with that statement, but like I don't think so.
No.
Anyone that's come into contact with it.
Yeah, I don't see how it'd be possible to offend anybody.
If that
with
offends someone, I don't want to know that.
I could see
person.
PETA stepping in and be like, you should not harm any mosquitoes.
I mean, since they're pollinators, you're right, but they also carry disease. So
Yeah, which kind of outweighs the pollination thing.
Yeah,
So
well, let's work on the bees. Bees, I'm cool with. Bees, I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Mosquitoes, just die. All of them.
Yeah, mosquitoes don't give a crap.
Eliminate them. Yeah, and there's and there's plenty of berries and stuff to go around for bats, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine. There's other bugs.
Yeah, they'll find them. That's what they're good at.
Yeah.
You know, they have sonar.
Yeah. There used to be. So I don't know how often you guys have been out to Cincinnati, but have you ever been to the museum center there?
I don't think so.
Uh-uh.
No.
Okay, so disclaimer if you haven't noticed already, I'm an enormous geek, and they had this section on bats, which everybody else is like kind of walk by like, what the fuck do I want to know about bats for? Like, they're cool, I guess, but I've always been obsessed with them. Favorite superhero, Batman, just to just for reference.
I figured that's where it was going.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, growing up, I had the costume and everything. I wish I still had it, but I don't. But I I like kind of stopped. I was one of the 3 people that stopped off at the spot for bass and stuff, and they had this little like room that you would go into, and it was like maybe 4x4. You go in there and you would close the curtain, and it would be just all dark, and you could kind of they would play sonar sounds. It was kind of like a game where they would play sonar sounds when you're getting like close to a wall, quote unquote, and you had to dodge it. And it was kind of to see how bats use sonar, and it was really fucking cool. But nobody else I was with was into it at all. They thought it was the lamest thing ever. They were just like, yeah, we're gonna go see the dinosaur bones, which are infinitely cooler. Which point they are. But I was like, no, you ever wanted to know like how a bat doesn't like finds its food and stuff? And as I'm saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like really really stupid like sounding. but it was awesome to me. Like, but yeah, like me and like the 3 other people were thought that was awesome that were there. So just point about bats.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't the only one that thought it was awesome then.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is that's fine.
Yeah.
Bats are way cooler than mosquitoes. Like that's
true. Mosquitoes are like way down. They're like at the very bottom.
Yeah.
What is there anything? Let's challenge ourselves here. Is there anything we can put below mosquitoes? I can't think of anything off the fly. But I'm biased because I really, really hate them.
I don't know. Flies kind of suck too.
Yeah,
they're annoying.
Yeah,
but they don't bite you and make you itch and give you diseases.
Some do.
Usually.
Yeah, some do bite, and it does suck.
Yeah,
but
maybe a wasp. Maybe.
Ooh,
they're pretty useless little bastards.
Because wasps are like bees, except they don't die after they sting you.
And
they're just assholes.
Yeah, they're like, haha, this thing's still attached.
Do wasps pollinate things?
They do.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking they didn't really
so
do a whole
they're kind of like
lot
they're up there with bees, but they're kind of like the asshole cousin.
Yeah. Like, they're the cousin that's drunk and like gets passed out and picks a fight with everybody at the like family reunion.
Yeah. It's that cousin you don't want to talk to.
Well, multiple.
Because they just hang around.
I was just
like,
some names were rolling through my head there.
And the Rolodex. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was the wasps and hornets, man. Like I'm convinced that my younger brother and I used to have this discussion that bees die after they sting you because they lose their stinger, which is unfortunate because you really have to piss off a bee for it to get to sting you. Like, normally they really don't bother you. They landed on me and really never bothered me as a kid. I had to agitate them, and so we used to have this discussion where like maybe wasps and hornets are the ones that are responsible for making bees sting people. They're like, oh yeah, the wasps and hornets are like, oh yeah, bees, you guys can sting as much as you want. Nothing bad is going to happen. I mean, look at us. We can sting all day long and we're good. And then like, they're obviously not.
The bee was like, oh no, why'd you make me do that?
You lying bastard.
Yeah, and it's like insides are just pulling out.
Oh.
Yeah. This hurts.
Yeah. Why you make me do this?
Yeah, tell the queen I love her.
She already knows. It's a bee joke for you guys.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We've covered influences. We covered bees, mosquitoes, bats. What else is there to music, really?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, without bees, there is no music. So
I need that in a inspirational quote format on a piece. I need that.
Perfect. Just put it up there. Without bees, there is no music.
So people are like, and some people it'll probably really resonate with, even if it's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, they're right. There is no music.
There'll be somebody sitting there like scrolling through, like, oh.
They're gonna be on someone. Someone's gonna tattoo it on themselves here soon enough.
I would give that person $100. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right now.
They can like put it in smaller form and just have like a picture of a bee and then greater than music. Like a music note.
That would be awesome. It would cost like $60.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Get it like on the back of your neck so
There you
everybody
go.
can see it.
Just get it on your face.
Yes.
Get it on your face, right underneath your eye.
Just one's a music note and then it's like the
I feel like
greater than sign.
no matter what tattoo you get on your face, you immediately have to start a SoundCloud account.
That seems
Yes.
to be the way. And I don't know about you guys, but the whole SoundCloud rapper thing, like, I've known musicians who are on SoundCloud, including rappers,
Yeah.
but SoundCloud rapper was never a thing, and it just like hit me by surprise. Like, I did not see it coming. So all of a sudden, there were just all these SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah.
Like, and I listen to rap, like, and hip hop and stuff, mostly like 80s, which really 80s music in general is what I listen to. But like, it just really came out of nowhere for me, and then all of a sudden there were just all of these SoundCloud rappers, which I don't like more than half of them. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. And it's and the ones I do like it's just they look ridiculous in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm not one to judge somebody on the way they look normally, but when you have like tattoos all over your face and stuff like that, like if that's what you're into, cool. Like Mayans did it, that's awesome, but
Right.
it's
But they also sacrificed people.
exactly. Yes, they also like so the sun would come back out up in the morning.
Right.
They would sacrifice like 100 people.
Yeah. It's not enough. Keep going.
Is the sun back up? Nope. You gotta keep going.
Yeah. It's just all night.
Yeah, like I'm not one to judge somebody on the way they look or whatever, but like there's definitely something to when you said SoundCloud rapper, that immediately put a picture in my head.
Yeah.
And I think that does it with everybody. So I think people should at least admit that.
Yeah.
That is forever tied to it forever to the beginning from the beginning and end of time. That's always going to be a thing.
Right.
That's all I need.
I don't get how it happened. Like, why is that?
Yeah, what happened to avalanche that thing?
Yeah, I don't get why. What's the deal with the face tattoos?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like I really don't. I'm not really a expert on hip hop in general. I like it, mostly the older stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a lot of newer stuff too. Like one of my best friends, he's a rapper, like kind of like a psychedelic rapper, and his shit's real good. So there are good ones out there, but like I don't understand the face tattoos thing either. Like it seems it's so common that it just seems like a rite of passage of some sort. Like there's some sort of mystery there that we haven't uncovered. Maybe it'll unearth like some ancient evil that will destroy the universe or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but
That'd be pretty metal if that happened.
I mean, there's a lot of rappers with face tattoos, but
Yeah.
every SoundCloud rapper has a face tattoo. It's like,
It's true. It just goes hand in hand.
face tattoos, SoundCloud, done.
Yeah. You're
maybe
in.
maybe there's a contract on SoundCloud we don't know about.
There could be.
Ooh,
There could
I
be.
think we should look into that. I'm not going to. But yeah, I'm not an aficionado on hip hop by any means, but I don't get it. And I don't think that's a crime to say I don't get it. I don't. And I don't really want to. If that's your style, cool.
Right.
I just don't understand. But people probably don't understand me half the time. Like the fact that I'm on a podcast in general is astounding to me. So like, the things that I have to scrape off the corners of my imagination is just kind of insane.
No, I mean that's what we're here for. It's a platform for people to reach out to and for us to have people on and talk about their music.
Mm-hmm.
See, bringing me back down to earth. I need that. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun writing with these guys and collaborating, even if it's in the digital format, because everything's going digital.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of analog, but the way things are going, streaming that is over downloading now. Everybody streams everything.
Yeah.
Nobody downloads anything. Nobody buys CDs unless you're me, and I'm one person out of billions. So nobody like holds on to physical copies anymore, unless it's like vinyl, which has weirdly come back.
Mm-hmm.
We have one fan who, whenever I post something about, the music's coming out soon or something, she'll be like, "Yeah, on vinyl, right?" And I want it to be so bad.
It's so expensive.
It's so expensive. Like, because I was looking into it when we finished the single. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look into it to see how much it is, and it's ridiculously expensive, like thousands of dollars. It's I can't do that.
To get one vinyl made, just the record, and that doesn't come. That's not like the sleeve and everything. It's $25.
Wow.
That's the average.
Yeah, if you want artwork and everything like that, you're getting the hundreds of dollars. Yeah, it's and then like to sell that, like I understand why vinyl is
Yeah.
expensive now.
Yeah, I get it
Like
now.
yeah, well, I didn't get it before because I was like, why is vinyl some like recently? Like part of me was excited because I love old music, but the other half of me is like, why? And
Right.
then I heard it and I was like, okay, yeah, it does sound pretty damn good. And then I was like, but it's super expensive. Now that I've looked into the fact, like looked into how much it costs to produce it, oh, I get it. It's stupid expensive.
Yeah.
Like just to make, like it's absolutely like astounding. Because I wanted to kind of make a couple, just for, at the very least, just for like me, Headley, and Zach, and anybody else that like helped out, like just like a little nice little gift, and that's probably not going to happen. Sorry, guys. Like it's just so expensive.
It is.
It's yeah. So
I'm kind of partial on new music going on vinyl. I don't really get. I like vinyl. I like buying old records, but I don't necessarily buy too many new things on vinyl because I don't really understand the point of putting your new music on the vinyl because it's not analog.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all digital.
It's all
pressed
digital
on.
and then pressed onto a vinyl.
Yeah.
You buy an old vinyl from the 70s, it's analog
Yeah.
all the way, and it makes
Let's
sense.
be honest, it's going to kind of sound like shit. Like it's like if you go way back and buy some like some old tunes from on vinyl, like it's not going to sound that good. But
No.
like you said, if it's digital and pressed to vinyl, oh yeah, it's going to sound great. It's going to sound phenomenal.
But it doesn't do anything for that. It's not like the real true analog feel that you get from what people say they love about vinyl so much.
Oh, I'd agree with that.
I guess I got some newer ones on vinyl that I bought and I like them, and I think it makes you pay attention to the music more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little details for sure. Yeah.
Well, and for me,
okay.
sorry. So for me, it's like I just went down to the record store the other day. This one downtown that I hadn't been to, and I bought a Blink-182 album, the All the Small Things album.
Nice.
What else did I get? I got
Wu-Tang.
I got the Wu-Tang Clan.
That is nothing to laugh about, dude. Wu-Tang is amazing.
Yeah.
And then I got an old
Ain't
Black
nothing to
Flag.
fuck with.
Yeah, that's the one I got. 36 Chambers of Death.
That's awesome.
I mean, you gotta have that in your vinyl library.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, if you don't, what are you even doing with your life?
I know.
And then I bought
I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't have it.
I got an old Black Flag one from the 80s that was
Oh hell
used.
yeah, that's cool.
And I noticed I put the Blink one on, and you actually have to pay attention to it because it's 5 songs and you got to flip the damn thing.
Right.
So it's
yeah, you got to get used to it because you'll be 30 minutes without music and you're like, what? Did I turn it off?
It's kind of different than just throwing on something and streaming it because you have to you're listening to it because you're listening for I think for me, you're listening for the record to end so you can go flip it.
Right.
So I think you're kind of listening to the music more than if you just tell hey Alexa play whatever and it's just playing. For me anyway, that's how I feel about it. But
I think that's an interesting perspective for sure. Yeah. Not only can you physically hear the little details that you might have caught before, but now that you have to listen to flip the damn thing over, you probably do listen to the music more. Oh yeah, I didn't notice that before, or yeah, I think that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
That popped in my head the other day when I was listening to it. I was like, oh.
Sitting there listening to it, you're like, yeah.
Because I find myself wanting to put a record on. I want to put one on and listen to them, but then I find myself sitting on the couch and listening to it because I know I'm going to have to flip it in 20 minutes.
Yeah. What makes it worse is when they're a double LP and there's only 4 songs on each side.
On each side, yeah.
You're like, damn it.
Gotta get up again.
Yeah. I just sat down.
yeah, and I'm in my early 30s, and once I sit down, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Something better be on fire in the other room for me. It's I'm just there now.
I mean, sometimes
where I live.
Even then, I'm like, if it's on fire, whatever.
That's what the police are for.
Yeah.
And for breaking windows.
Yeah.
But
Fire department gets here. Sir, your house is on fire? Yeah, I was just waiting for you to get here. I'll get up.
Yeah, I sat down, and I just sat down with this plate of nachos, and it's really didn't. I didn't have time for that.
Yeah, they're fire roasted nachos, which is ironic too. No correlation.
Yeah,
It's just they're fire roasted.
Yeah. They're fire roasted before said fire.
Yeah.
Are you aware you're dying of smoke inhalation?
I don't know.
Well, aren't we all dying?
My nachos are staying warm.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Still crunchy.
I think I got the black lung pop.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys. Whenever I quote that movie, you're like, "What are you What are you talking about? That movie sucked." I'm like,
No, it didn't.
No,
The
it
second
that
one
movie
sucked.
was incredible.
The first one's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't see the second one.
It's
also, I
terrible.
didn't see the second Joe Dirt, which I did love the first one.
I heard
They're this.
they keep making these sequels to these comedy movies, and they're all terrible. Like,
Yeah.
just leave them alone.
I hate that.
However, okay, we're moving into movies. Another territory I like a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, I was always against reboots and remakes, but I gotta say, especially with the Stephen King remakes lately, in my opinion, they've been on point.
Really?
Like,
That's good.
I have really enjoyed them. Have either of you seen like the remake of It or Pet Sematary?
No. I've been wanting to see it, and I just haven't done it.
It's very good.
That's
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, there are some changes. There are some goofy things about it, but you have to keep into perspective. You're watching a movie about a killer clown that eats children, so like it's going to be a little silly.
Yeah.
So, but I saw the Pet Sematary remake with my girlfriend and a couple really big movie buffs, really big Stephen King fans too, and my friend Josh, the one who came up with the whole the coasting thing in relation to like mental illness and stuff. He was sitting next to me, and we were kind of talking about, because we both just analyze the shit out of movies to the point where it really annoys my girlfriend. So we didn't really analyze this one, but there were things, we had a lot of opinions on it. Like there's a really good twist in it, and they did change the ending a little bit, but overall it felt like I was watching the old one. Like the ambiance was great, and it was a little campy but not too much, but they were able to get more character development in it. John Lithgow is my dude.
Oh, he's in that?
Yeah, he plays Judd.
Well, now I want to see it, because John Lithgow,
sold, right?
that dude's an amazing actor.
He acts with his entire body. Like even on Third Rock from the Sun,
Yeah.
like he was incredible in that, because he was such a classically trained actor.
Yeah.
And he didn't have as much screen time as I wanted. He's still in it a lot, but he was very good as Judd. And overall, it was enjoyable. I can recommend it. It's worth the $10 to go see it on the big screen, for sure.
So it's in theaters, isn't it, right now? Didn't it just come out?
Yeah, it still is, yeah.
They just remodeled our theater, so like I'll just go watch any movie. It's that comfortable now.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they got bunk beds and
Might as well.
Might as well. They put in like these reclining chairs, and they're all electric, and they're leather, and
the luxury loungers.
Yeah.
Oh, those. Oh, yeah. That's
and
how
you have
I
like a
watched,
side table that like folds over, and you're just like, yeah, I can put my stuff here.
Get up again.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's even some like nicer theaters that like have those luxury loungers and the food tray, but they'll also have people bring you food.
I've
like,
heard that.
What?
Oh yeah, it's real. Like they'll bring you like they'll have an actual menu. It's not just like popcorn and hot dogs. Like it's crazy, and they'll have people that actually bring it to you for a ridiculous upcharge, of course.
Oh yeah, but you don't have to get up.
Right, exactly. Right. And on that point, I experienced it once. I was like, okay, this is a real thing. I have to experience it just to say that I experienced it. So I did. Got a steak that I paid way too much for, and watched the movie. I can't remember what movie I was seeing, but I remember.
I mean, how could you?
He remembers the steak, but not the movie.
Yeah, I remember the crappy steak, but I don't remember what I spent 2.5 hours there for.
Just the experience.
Yeah, that's my memory in a nutshell. The things that matter. But as I was making the first cut into it, I was thinking to myself, like, have you guys seen the movie WALL-E, right?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, incredible film.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how they portray people in that in the future?
Yeah.
That is exactly how I felt. I have never felt more like a fat person in a hoverboard that never had to leave the hoverboard ever in my life, except at that moment.
I could see that. Sometimes I think like that kind of thing. Sometimes when I'm doing something, I'm like, oh, we're those people now. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, totally. Now try not to think that way when you're getting served steak in a movie theater in a reclining giant recliner that's made of leather. Try not to have that
but
thought.
you don't have to get up.
Ah, damn, you got me there.
That outweighs everything. Would you like any of these things on the menu? Yeah, just bring it all.
Well, that's going to be like $400. Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
fine. I live here now.
here's my credit card.
Here, just keep it on file. Are you sure? Yeah, I don't have to get up.
Is there like a toilet function that we can like?
Oh yeah, press this button right here.
It ejects you right into the screen.
It'd be like something like an Idiocracy. Have you ever seen that movie?
It's Mike Judge is a genius.
Yes.
And B, oh yes.
And he like knocks on the door and he's like, "Go away, baiting," but he's not even. He's just sitting on the.
I think he's watching TV, maybe playing a video game. It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've seen it. The most I remember from that movie is Terry Crews, because Terry Crews is an incredible person. Just an amazing individual and hilarious.
Yeah. The first time I saw that movie, though, I was like, "This movie's stupid."
Yeah.
Like I could not get into it. And
Really?
then,
Oh man,
and then
loved it.
I watched it again. I was like, "It's Mike Judge. I gotta watch it again." And
Yeah.
and then it was hilarious.
Yeah. Just when I don't know why, but one of the scenes that just cracks me up every single time that I see in that movie. There's a lot of them, but one that really just makes me giggle throughout the whole movie, and it's fairly early in the movie, and I don't think a lot of people find this as funny as I do. But the Carl's Jr. Hardee's
Yeah.
vending machine, when like the lady like loses everything to the Carl's Jr. brand, and they're just like calling her a bad mother and everything. Like I just that concept is amazingly hilarious to me, and horrifying, but hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like now her kids are in the custody of Carl's Jr. It's like,
It sounds like something in Walmart.
What?
It sounds like more like this would happen with Walmart. Like,
yeah. Jeez, man, we are getting close.
Yeah, we're almost there. Can't wait.
you're gonna have to drop your kids off at the closest Walmart because they're repossessing them or something.
Well, sorry, kids, I tried, but your Walmart's problem now.
There was they had the Gatorade and all the water fountains. That was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
But,
We water
yeah,
our plants with electrolytes.
that's what a couple plants crave. Like
Yeah.
I've never seen a plant grow out of a toilet.
Yeah.
It's one of the most quotable movies ever made. Like Dumb and Dumber's up there.
Yeah.
Another one would be Big Lebowski is one of the most quotable
Oh,
movies.
for
Like,
sure.
Yeah. So
Anchorman.
Anchorman, yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Will Ferrell movies, actually.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of movies that we hated the first time we saw it, I hated Step Brothers first time I saw it.
What?
Really?
That's the reaction I get. Yeah,
Were you like, this is too much?
I don't think so, because I love both of those actors so much.
Yeah.
And I knew going into it, like, okay, they probably have somewhat of a script, but they're just going to go off and do their own thing, which I love improv. So I was like, okay. And I just, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but I just could not get into it the first time I watched it. Second time I watched it, I loved it. I loved it. I was like, what was I thinking? But the first time, for whatever reason, it was just weird. I don't know. I love everything about that movie just about now. But the first time I saw it, it was just, I hated it. I not just disliked it, I despised it. I was like, this is the dumbest thing that they've ever done. And like, I did not like it at all. But the second time I watched it, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. I think
such a
one of my favorite parts in that movie is when they're sleepwalking for the second time. They're like bringing the presents upstairs, and they're all like, they're arguing with each other, and all of a sudden they just bring the whole tree in. Like I was giggling, and then they brought that in. I lost it, dude. I was like, why would they bring the tree?
Why wouldn't they? Like,
Yeah.
the scene where they bring the tree in, and just the little details in that movie is what makes it amazing. It's like Adam McKay has a hand in everything. Will Ferrell does too. He's hilarious. And the scene whenever they show the drums at any point in the movie, it plays just like at one beat of that epic music, and then it stops.
Yeah.
For no fucking
Oh
reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime they show, his drum set.
They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just and then it's just over. Like, but every single time they show it, they just bring it back, and it's just one of those dumb things that doesn't have to make sense. It just makes me laugh every single time I see it. So
I watched that Sherlock Holmes movie they did.
Oh, how was that? I was a little skeptical.
It was okay. I mean,
Okay.
Did you know that
it was funny, but it wasn't. I mean, I don't know.
It
was
got
different.
a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Did it really?
Yeah,
A
0.
I mean, it had funny parts, but it was stupid.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only 0. No, that didn't even get 0%. The lowest score I've ever seen on Rotten Tomatoes was Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey, which it rightfully deserved.
What? That movie was great.
Never even heard of that.
I'm a turtle.
Oh, Master of Disguise.
Master of Disguise.
I thought you said Master of the Skies.
Oh, that sounds way better.
Yeah. Turtle,
Whatever that
turtle,
is, sign me
turtle.
up for that.
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
See, that's what everybody brings up when I say I hate that movie. They bring up the turtle part. I'm like, you know what?
That's the only memorable part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only part. And even that part didn't get a chuckle out of me as a kid. Like, I was kind of watching, I was like, I couldn't put it into words yet, but as I got older, it was really important that I analyze this movie, And once I got older, I was able to realize that, like, I don't know, with Dana Carvey, he was great on SNL.
Oh,
but, yeah, he was awesome on SNL. But when it came to, like, his own character development and stuff, he kind of had it backwards, where, like, he had that, like, funny faces and funny voices make a character when, like, it should be the other way around. Like, the character makes the funny voices and faces, just to kind of get a little, analytical there. But so I just think that is the lowest scoring movie I've ever seen on Rotten Tomatoes. And to hear that got a 0 is astounding.
Yeah, like, people were pretty upset.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there
like
were parts
I remember
of it.
seeing the previews and I was like, damn, that looks funny.
It was. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was a great movie, but it had its funny parts. Like,
at the very least, yeah, that's what I would think. Is
Like, I didn't-
okay, there's moments. Yeah.
I didn't turn it off and say that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I knew going into it. It's Will Ferrell and
Yeah, it's gonna be stupid.
what's his name?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. Like, I knew it was gonna be stupid. Like, we rented it and we said, "Wonder if it's like this. Is this gonna be like a Step Brothers 2 kind of thing?" Like,
That was a lot of people's concern, yeah.
And
Which
it-
they did bait the trailer like that, which was hilarious.
it kind of maybe was a little bit, but not. I mean,
But wasn't there a part where like the bees get loose in his room and he's just like trying to shoot all the bees with a gun or something?
I don't know,
I don't
but
think
I hope
so.
there is.
Maybe in the extra scenes.
Because that was on the preview. Like he had this like hive of bees and like he drops it or something, and he's like, "Oh, get him off me!" And he's like shooting them with the gun.
There's a part where he comes into the courtroom shooting random things.
Yeah, this ridiculous humor like that, like, I really can get into, but wow, 0%. Like,
Yeah,
granted, I don't agree with a lot of critics most of the time anyway,
Yeah.
but
right.
wow, that's
Yeah,
that is
it could have gone up by now, but I don't know.
Didn't something else just come out with 0%? Like, it was. I can't remember what it was. I just heard about it the other day.
Oh, really?
I want to say it was something new. It got another 0%, I guess. But I can't remember. What it was now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pet Sematary scored pretty low, but as far as I'm concerned, the man himself, Stephen King, like, absolutely gave us his stamp of approval, and who better knows what the book was supposed to represent and everything.
Right.
So if he's on board, that's really just that place to rest any argument, in my opinion. But
Yeah, for sure.
But did you guys see Us?
No, I want to.
Very
Looks
good.
I heard it's really good.
It's so good. Did either of you see Get Out?
Yeah, that was really
Okay.
good.
Okay, Get Out's awesome.
Yeah.
I highly suggest you see it. So if you go see it, don't expect another Get Out. Like, it's a bit more of a slow burn, more of like it's like a really long Twilight Zone episode, which appeals to me.
Yeah.
I'm really into the old school, like, anthology stuff, and Jordan Peele doing Twilight Zone now was amazing.
I was gonna
don't know if
say,
you guys-
isn't he doing Twilight Zone now, or something's going on with that?
yeah, you can catch the first episode for free on YouTube right now. It's really
Oh,
good.
really?
The whole episode.
What's it gonna be on? Do you know? Like, what are they releasing
It's
it
on
on?
CBS Access, I think. I think there's talks of them coming out on Amazon as well, but I'm not sure.
What the fuck is CBS Access?
That was about my reaction.
CBS Access. What's
Yeah.
that? They're like online streaming service.
Pretty much, yeah. Everybody's trying to get their hand
Yeah.
on it. Like Disney's going to come out with one.
Did you
Netflix has dropped a bunch of stuff.
did you
because
see the
Marvel-
price of the Disney one?
No.
No.
I think it said it was. I thought it said $4.99 a month.
Oh,
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I just saw.
But
something.
they're going to be picking up like they're going to be doing like the Hawkeye series. They're going to be doing the
Gotcha.
Scarlet Witch series. They're doing like a bunch of, and it's going to be the people that are playing those characters in all the Marvel movies, and they're coming over.
Yeah, because
Awesome.
Disney owns their soul.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah. They're like, hey, nice to meet you. You're mine. But hey, glad to have you on.
I was reading on Reddit the other day. People were complaining about all these streaming services,
Yeah, there's so many.
and basically, it's going back. Cable's dying.
Yeah,
Now they're all making streaming services, and there for a while it was, pirating went down because basically Netflix and Hulu, and maybe Amazon, were really what everything was on. So people quit pirating so much. Well, now it's splitting back up, and instead of being cable, now it's all streaming services, and they're saying pirating's back on the rise because you're just going right back to the way it was, where you got to have all these freaking services to pay for, and
it's gonna get to the.
Yeah.
It's going to get to the point where these streaming services are going to become so big, they're just going to start buying the other streaming services.
yeah, it's gonna go up, it's gonna separate, and they're probably gonna come right back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably right about that. It's like that's kind of how that whole vicious cycle of things works with major corporations. Like Disney has consumed everything that I have loved in my childhood, and in my opinion, they've done a great job so far. But they own Marvel, they own Star Wars now. The list goes on. Which
they own ESPN.
Yeah.
What's that?
Disney owns ESPN.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Didn't they just buy Fox too?
Yeah, they just. Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
I don't sports.
I don't sports.
I don't sports. But
yeah,
I didn't,
sports.
The sports ball went to the sports guy.
Yeah, sports.
But like on that topic, like it's going to get to the point where, like you said, that all these streaming services can start buying the other streaming services, and then they're going to just raise their prices through the roof.
Yeah.
And then it'll be the next thing that comes in, and maybe we'll go back to downloading. Who knows? Like, it's kind of crazy because when Netflix discontinued all their Marvel shows, I was a little upset about it. A lot of them that I watched. Luke Cage was awesome.
Yeah. Daredevil was the best.
Daredevil was really good. I did like the Punisher a lot.
Yeah.
Punisher, and I thought John Bernthal, for being kind of an asshole in real life, I think he nailed the role.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so Jessica Jones and all these shows that Netflix is dropping, so they can focus more on original content, which I can respect.
Right.
But I think that it's either Hulu is going to pick those up, or it'll probably be Disney that picks those up and either does something with them or doesn't.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope somebody does something with it. But and I think this was a lot of people's concern when Disney consumed Star Wars, mostly is that it was going to be oversaturated.
Yeah.
It's going to be Star Wars everything, which to me, I'm like, yeah, bring it on, hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like the more Star Wars, the better. But at the same time, I kind of see where they're coming from. Where maybe it won't become as original or anything. But so far, even Netflix, there's a series coming out called The Mandalorian, which I just from the screenshots and trailer I saw look amazing. It looks really good, and it has a good cast behind it too. But if I'm not mistaken, I think you're wearing a Star Wars shirt right now. You wearing a Star Wars shirt?
No, I'm wearing Golden Girls.
Well, no, you are.
I'm wearing August
I thought that was
Red.
the top of R2D2's head.
Oh,
okay,
no.
I see. Yeah. Okay, so never mind then.
It kind of just cracks me up because you see pictures of Disneyland. There's Snow White standing around, and all of a sudden you see in the background just a stormtrooper with a gun.
Which is kind of awesome.
Yeah. You're like, wait,
But,
what kind of place is this?
I don't know, but I know I want to be
We
there.
enforce happiness.
Ooh, all right.
Disney.
So there could be some crazy crossovers in our future.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys play video games at all, but Kingdom Hearts was really big on like the crossover stuff with Disney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy, Disney. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They probably own that too. Final Fantasy.
They don't yet, but honestly, I would not be surprised
Right.
if that turned out.
They're gonna get to the point where they just own everything, and you're like,
That's what I'm guessing. Like,
yeah, you're like, why is that zombie here?
they'll buy Netflix and then
they buy The Walking Dead.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe it'll be watchable now.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. That's big fan of the comics, but the season I liked, most people hated. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I loved the first season. I thought the first season was great.
The first season is great.
Remember it.
Yeah.
The second season was the worst.
It was between the second and third.
I say
They're just like on the farm, and you're like, oh my god, we get it.
It kind of dragged on. Now Herschel, the actor that got to play Herschel, was awesome. That's kind of what kept me watching.
Yeah.
Was Herschel and Dale.
Yeah.
Because he's a phenomenal actor too.
Yeah.
So yeah, then just after that, I think it was between 2 and 3 where like when the governor came along, I was like,
Yeah, that season was meh. Yeah.
But they did get a great actor to play Negan, so.
Yeah, they did. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, he's really cool because legend has it when his agent called him, they're like, "Hey, there's a role on Walking Dead if in a season or two if you want to take it." And apparently he's a big fan of the comics because he was like, "Is it Negan?" And they're like, "Oh well, I don't know." Like he was like, "If it's Negan, I'm fucking doing it." Like those were his exact words.
Yeah.
So it's cool to know that he like read the comics or graphic novels and was such a fan of that he wanted to be true to the role, which he really was. Like he was charming but horrifying. Like
yeah.
So, but yeah, I can't watch it anymore. It's just it kind of lost its flavor for me. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always
Breaking Bad's still good.
Yeah. I've always was kind of back and forth on The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
I'd watch it for a while and then I would stop.
It gets to the point where like if you watch it for so long, it's kind of mundane, and you're like, okay, zombies.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like once you kind of like understood that the zombies were like a metaphor for like if things were taken apart from society, like would we be able to uphold society? Like once you understand that, like really nowhere else to go from there.
Yeah.
You just kind of zoom in on the savage nature of human beings and how humans are like the underlying evil, which I don't believe 100% of the time, but it's a fun in a fantasy setting, like as Walking Dead. But like I kind of have more faith in humanity than that, which maybe I'm wrong, but but I think that once you understand that that's the concept they're going for, then there's really not anywhere else to go from there.
Yeah, the show's not really about the zombies, at least not anymore. I mean,
it's about surviving people you run into.
Yeah.
Like the zombies are a mild nuisance at this point.
Yeah.
But like if they're in hordes, even they're like, oh, okay, well.
No, we'll just go this way.
Yeah, like, and then okay, like.
Yeah. Oh, why didn't we do that 5 seasons ago?
Right.
Back then they're like, oh, we got to fight them. Wasting all the ammunition. They could have just went the other way.
Yeah, and instead of drawing more zombies to them, they just.
Yeah.
But I don't make film or television, so I don't know shit. But yeah, so okay, we covered movies now.
Yeah. Just to jump back on track a little bit, you guys have a lyric video for your single Sawdust.
Yeah, we do.
What could you say Sawdust is about?
Yeah, so sorry, I'm already getting the chills talking about it because it's about the loss of my father and my brothers and I. Once he passed away, we returned back to the old house. My mom was still living there. We were, kind of helping her clean out some of his stuff and whatnot. And we went out to his workshop out in the back. He had we had a garage there where I played with a lot of bands in there, but it was always partially his workshop. You know what I mean? And so we were always dodging tools as we were playing and stuff. And when we went out there, we unlocked the door and we saw that there was sawdust all over the floor from a project he was finishing up or getting started on. And the last thing that was left of him was these footprints that were in the sawdust from his shoes.
Oh man.
And we just kind of sat there for a minute and just like kind of stared at it, and we had nothing to say, and we kind of left it alone for a while. My younger brother ended up cleaning it up because I couldn't do it, and so that was the last physical like resonance of him on this planet, and that was
Right.
really heavy to all of us. So heavy enough for me to write a song about. So that was the inspiration for the song. It's really for anybody that's going through loss and has dealt with that, because to some extent I'm sure you guys have lost somebody close to you, whether it's friend, family member,
Yeah.
anything like that, and it's something we all go through. Death is one of our greatest unifiers, and I think the more we can address it and the more we can talk about it, even when it's funny, it's even kind of laughing at it, it's something we all have in common, we'll all have to face, so why not like give it a little dignity and maybe even face it with some humor. So the song isn't meant to be humorous, but I was writing out of just pure confusion and anger and everything. So the lyrics of this song are actually made up of several notes that I had wrote. Just, that's my writing process, is that I'll just write and then, make lyrics out of it eventually. But for the most part, these lyrics are taken right from the notes, because it was just pure and unfiltered what I was feeling at the time.
Wow.
That's heavy. Especially no, it's fine. I don't know why. I just like I really when you're talking about the footprints and the sawdust. I don't know. I just feel like I really connected with that. Because like you said, that's like the last physical presence.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine opening that door and seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
It was an experience, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough for all of us kids. We were a big family, 8 of us all together, and it was me, my younger brother, and 2 brothers up, yeah, we didn't want to go in, so we just like locked it back up and left. Like it was tough.
Yeah.
So writing a song about that was the starting point for me writing this EP,
mm-hmm.
and I owe it all to like my doctor, who's just the one that kind of kept pushing me to do it, and my partner as well, Lynn. She's amazing. Like, she said she can't really listen to that song anymore because it resonates with her so well, which, by the way, what you said is one of the biggest compliments I can receive, so thank you so much. That means the world to me.
Absolutely.
The fact that you can empathize with that is something. And she said she can't even really listen to the song most times because she's had that in her family, and it's something that we don't really want to think about, but at the same time, like, it kind of reminds us in a twisted way of like how you can literally not be here a few moments from now, and to really not take those moments for granted. And fortunately, my dad and we went through a rough patch, but we made up before he passed away, which is good for me. But my younger brother, and sorry, this is going to be a downer because it's pretty fucked up. He had gotten into a stupid fight about something stupid with my dad, almost escalating to a fist fight. And that's just the way my dad was. He's like, if you're just going to keep talking, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. Like, that's just the way he was. And which that kind of carried on through the rest of us, I guess. But my younger brother, he got into a fight with my dad and everything, and they didn't talk for about a month. And I kept telling my younger brother and my dad, like, this is fucking stupid. Like, you guys, you haven't been through so much history, literally, that there should be nothing that you can't overcome at this point. So I don't know what it was. They're both prideful, so that's probably what it was. But he came by the house where my dad was when he was still alive, and he was looking for my dad, and my grandfather told him that he was outside working in the shed or whatever, and he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, I'll just go ahead and leave. Like, I think he wanted to apologize to him. I don't think he'd admit that, but I think he wanted to talk to him. So my younger brother left, and then my grandfather, I can't remember if he called him or somehow spoke to him later on and said, hey, your dad was looking for you, and he wanted to talk to you. Well, my brother had left on vacation. He was on vacation when my dad had a stroke, and so they left each other on bad terms.
Oh man.
And so, and he made it back while he was still technically alive. He was brain dead, but he was starting to go, and so he made it back in time. But he was gone when my dad like wanted to make up with him, kind of thing, and he never got that closure. So that's something that he has to battle on his own, and that's made it into another one of our songs that isn't on the EP, but you literally, and I know it sounds cliche as hell, but you literally never know when the last time you're going to see a person. So just cut the bullshit. Just
Right.
take the time to tell somebody you love them, like, or at the very least that you care about them or that you're thinking about them, or you don't have to do it every single day, but making sure that person knows that they're loved and that they're cared for is imperative to not only for them and your relationship, but like if that person were to go away, that's for your mental health. Like, and that may sound a little selfish, but once they're gone, you're the one that's going to have to pick up the pieces in the end.
Yeah.
So.
And with a song like this, I think the choice to do a lyric video, because people connect with music so much, and they're always a lot of people confide in music and they look for things and advice into music, and sometimes when people are sad they listen to sad songs, and then vice versa, and I'm the same way, because it kind of makes you feel better and you can connect with the song, so it kind of helps you through it, you know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
So,
it's therapy. Yeah.
So the fact that you guys put out a lyric video for something that deep, for because I think people being able to see the lyrics and read the lyrics is very important.
Yeah.
Instead of,
I agree.
So people can read them and they may not know the backstory behind the song Sawdust.
Right.
But that's the beauty of music, because people can connect with it in so many different ways.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. And my younger brother, after he heard Sawdust first time, because he's the first person I always send music to,
Mm-hmm.
and he's always respected me as a musician for some reason. And so he would always be the first person I would send stuff to, kind of tell me how he's feeling about it. And the first thing he said when I sent him Sawdust is that he said, tell Headley, my singer, tell Headley thank you, and I can't thank him enough for giving my soul a voice. And that just was,
oh, damn.
Yeah, like he's that kind of dude. Like he just always talks and thinks that way.
Yeah.
And it was evident that meant a lot to him. So yeah, you saying that putting a lyric video together for that was pretty much what I had in mind. Is as much as it hurts, I want people to know that I'm hurting with them.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's okay. Like it's something that you may not get over. It's just important that you get through it.
Right.
Just take it one day at a time. Get through it. You may not ever be fine again, and that sucks. But it's something that we will all have to deal with in some capacity someday.
For sure.
And so, in a way to illustrate that, I think is very important.
Absolutely. So we won't keep you much longer, but I don't want to end it on that. And
sure.
Not.
No, let's tell some fart jokes.
Well, no. Well, I was thinking maybe like if anybody's trying to get things started up. I mean, you guys are in different states and you're putting out music together. Is there any advice you can give to anybody that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, definitely. You do not need the most top high-end equipment to make music. If that's what's holding you back, because that's what held me back for a long time personally, is that I didn't feel like things were good enough. Shit, most of my stuff nobody's ever heard of before, probably. like nobody's ever heard of a Hondo guitar, like unless you're like an old school like jammer. You're like, oh yeah, I know that shit. Like I use mostly off-brand or just like cheap stuff, and this is the result I'm able to accomplish with it. So like whether or not you like the music, if you don't, I hope it grows on you. But at least like the quality of the sound is there,
mm-hmm.
and you don't need top end equipment in order to do so. So don't think that if that's what's keeping you from doing it, don't let it. There are a lot of options that you can find online. Like, excuse me, my interface that I use to plug in the microphones and guitar and stuff. I bought that for $35. Like, it's $35 and it's incredible. It has 2 inputs and it has anything that you would see. It's basically, for any audio engineers out there, it's like a B version of the Scarlett Focusrite, which is a well-known USB interface, but this is like kind of like the Aldi brand version of it, and which there's nothing wrong with that, because it's
right.
these are the results I was able to accomplish, and both of my guitars are not name brand. My white guitar, which I named Saruman. I don't know if any of you are Lord of the Rings fans, but you must name your guitars. Also, that's something else I picked up. But it's a Paul Reed Smith copy.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what year. I know it was built in America. I'm looking at it right now, and some friends and I got together and put it together, and it's worked for me. I know it's a lower end hammer, but it sounds good. And also, my more interesting guitar is a 1969 Hondo 2. It's a Stratocaster copy. And just a little bit of guitar history for you guys. Way back in the day, before you were able to like really copyright stuff like guitars, designs and stuff, before anybody else thought of that, the moment like companies like Fender and Gibson were getting really big, there were copycats. A lot of them were overseas in Korea, Indonesia, and Japan, everywhere. And so what they would do is they would make literal exact copies of these guitars and sell them way cheaper. Mm-hmm. So now, once they, kind of address that, the companies, they being Fender and Gibson, just for example, once they address that, now that if you wanted to make a copy of one of the guitars, you had to alter it a little bit. Well, the guitar that I have here is an exact copy of a 1969 Fender Stratocaster, and what's known as a lawsuit guitar.
Yeah.
From 1969. So it was cool for me, even if nobody's ever, even if a lot of people haven't heard about it. I own a piece of guitar history, which is really cool to me. And it's got a vintage like kind of feel to it. It's got like brown and yellow and black. It's very, very vintage. Like, think of like something's in Johnny Cash's band would have played, like something like that. Nice. But yeah, I just coming back to your point. Sorry, I got off track there.
No, that's fine.
It's if what's holding you back is thinking that you have to have the best or have to have the greatest thing, everything down to the DAW, what you use to record, the software, you can find it either for like $25 or free. Like, you can find stuff that'll work.
Yeah.
You just have to do your research. You have to have that passion to find what's best for you. And when I first started recording, I recorded on a MacBook from like 1999, and it was horrible. But I was able to use GarageBand, which is an incredible program, especially for coming for free with the Mac. So if your limitations is I don't have a lot of money, you don't need to spend a lot of money. I've mentioned on my Instagram, and I've taken pictures of my gear and stuff, like the stuff that I use. So if anybody is interested in that, and if that's what's holding them back, you can find us on Instagram, Ocean Deep Rock, and you can find that stuff there. And and feel free to shoot me a message too, because I'm just that kind of guy, I guess. But yeah, if anybody's aspiring to be a musician and they don't have a lot of money, I've been poor most of my life. I got you.
Right there with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right on, man.
We're gonna check out the lyric video for Sawdust, but just want to say, thanks for reaching out and thanks for coming on and sharing your story and talking with us for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Okay. No, I really appreciate you guys having me on, man, and being so like down to earth and inviting. It's really cool. And you were the only ones to reply to my first wave of emails, so I very much appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah. So when I was talking to you, even Matt, it's just like it seemed like was like, okay, I could probably get along with this guy. I think this is
Yeah.
gonna go fine. Like he's a little goofy. Like, I mean, you're wearing a Golden Girls shirt, which
Yeah.
most people just think, oh, ironic humor. Like, no, it's legitimately a good show. Shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on and giving me the opportunity to do this. And yeah, if people like the music, I really appreciate it. You know, we'll be releasing the EP this summer. If not, I hope it grows on you. But thanks for giving me a chance.
Absolutely,
All right,
man.
man.
Stay in touch, and you know, when you guys release that EP, let us know, and we'll bring it back on.
Dude,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
love to come back. Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Cool,
Take
guys.
care, man.
Have a good night.
You too.
too.
Thanks. All right.
Right on.
That was Ben of Ocean Deep. We're going to check out their lyric video for Sawdust.
Nice.
So, whoops.
Whoopsie daisies.
Push the wrong button. Did you see that shit? All right. Now, just to warn you, it's going to come in a little hot.
Okay. I was looking at it. Looked like I thought it was loaded that far. I thought it was going to play that far.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Down these empty halls,
Bam.
Damn. Knowing the, the backstory to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Wait, you can read. Oh, you can read the back of my shirt now.
oh, can we?
Look.
Oh, yeah. Only you can prevent horrible music. Oh, we're going to have to start getting some shirts with stuff on the back.
Yep.
So that was, we just got off Skype with Ben from Ocean Deep. So, shout out to him for coming on and reaching out. Got to hear, incredible story behind some of the music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to post the links here where you can find the music. They're on iTunes and Apple. They're on Apple Music.
Mm.
They're on YouTube. So the link to the YouTube page is there.
They're on your tube.
Your tube? They're there on the YouTube. Your tube.
My tube? Your tube.
Your tube. Got the HIV. My tube.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to him. Thanks for coming on. About an hour and a half deep.
Yeah.
So let me bring up here just to make sure I got the right info.
You're the info.
I am the info. So that's going to be the only episode we have this week.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of stuff going on the weekend. So
is this weekend the 4th, or is that next weekend? That's next weekend.
next weekend, yeah.
Okay, good.
So we won't be back until next Tuesday, the 30th.
Oh, yep.
So we'll be next Tuesday. We'll be having on As Strange as Angels.
Mm-hmm.
It's the former frontman Norman Matthews of Murder FM.
Hmm.
So they'll be on. He'll be on. We'll be talking about
murder.
Red. He'll be on. We talk about Red Rum and no, we'll be talking about his new project, As Strange as Angels. So that'll be pretty fun. So
Oh.
I'm sending this off this week, aren't I?
Oh, yeah. Yes, because I literally ran over here.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my laptop, but I didn't hook it up.
Yeah. Let me get some low volume.
This one, right?
Yeah. So we'll be back Tuesday. What day is that? May 30th. No, April 30th. Tuesday, April 30th. Getting way ahead of myself. So we'll be back at Strange as Angels. And that's all we got. Don't forget, you can like us on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Take us on the go. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. We have our YouTube channel. Catch up on our website, allaroundmusicpodcast.com. So, we'll see everyone on the 30th.
Okay.
Like this.